Hey guys, Max here. So, you're watching this video because you're interested in Samsung M8 smart monitor, but you have questions. Well, I have it right here, and hopefully I'm able to provide some of those answers. And I have a lot to say. So, let's get to it. Let's talk about display. And for me, I think it's one of the best feature when it comes to this specific display. Now, this is not an OLED panel, it's not a mini LED panel, this is not even a quantum display panel, it's just an average LCD, a VA panel. But the color output in this specific panel is absolutely breathtaking. I mean, Samsung is known for their displays, and they're definitely doing that same amazing job with this specific display. And for me, it's love and hate type of relationship, because once you look at this display, you're lost in it. It's absolutely beautiful. And unfortunately, this is where its most positive point is, because everything else goes negative from this point on. Now, the color output, like I said, is absolutely stunning. But what about the dark scenes? Imagine you're watching a movie or playing games that involves a lot of dark scenes. Are you going to see details there? Are you going to start noticing ghosting, unevenness? And sadly to say, yes. So here I have a perfect image of a moon in a sky with the stars. It's in the black background. So if you start noticing, there is a bluish tint over here, whereas like the blotchiness, uneven. Same thing over here. Here's the moon, and you start seeing the ghosting. And actually in person, I see this ghosting going a lot further than probably what you guys see on your end. So the dark scenes will definitely struggle. Not as bad as you might think, but definitely not on the same level as when you compare to OLED, quantum dot display, or mini LEDs. So you win with colors, but you're definitely going to lose when it comes to darkness. So here is another example of a dark image, where you can see the stars and you can see the trees are dark. There's some purple dots that you see here and there. But if you start noticing this redness over here, it's not supposed to be there. So that's just the way that this specific monitor is displaying it. In fact, actually, this is not about this specific image. There is actually a common flaw that I'm seeing going around when it comes to the build quality of this specific monitor. So let me show it to you up close. Let me zoom in. Let me lower the lights. So if you start seeing right over here, there is actually a light bleed. There is a spacing between the monitor and the casing of this device. I'm actually seeing this as a common issue with a lot of people out there. If you search around on YouTube, there's several people pointing this out, and they're actually returning their monitors because of that. Here is another issue, and actually this is a major issue, since this monitor specifically advertised with its new feature of Samsung Slim Fit camera. So if you look closely, it's selected right over there, and the capping is off, but there's absolutely nothing displaying. And in fact, 99% of the time, this camera just does not function. I'm actually surprised that my MacBook Pro 14 this time actually picked up the camera. Most of the time, it's just not even available in the options. So after restarting this several times, I was able to get the camera working. The issue is, I'm moving my hand, and nothing is moving over there. So there's definitely a lot of issues with this specific camera. I just had enough of it, and I ended up buying, it's right over there. I ended up buying Logic Pro 4K camera, because this camera itself from Samsung, the Slim Fit camera specifically, there's just way too many issues. I'm going to actually show it to you where I'm going to use my desktop. and my desktop absolutely just does not. It doesn't matter how many times I've tried or any drivers I've downloaded, it just does not see the camera existence within this monitor. So here I'm in Windows. As you can see over here, there is no option for slim fit camera, and this is zoom. If I drop down the menu, it's nowhere to be found here. So somehow I have not been able to get slim fit working with Windows whatsoever. Now another negative on the list is speakers. They're just bad. I've tried to play around with settings and it's just really bad. The worst part of it, if you go over 50% sound, you start getting this distortion, clipping. It's absolutely annoying. I use this tri-bit speaker with this monitor. It is a Bluetooth speaker, which works pretty good as long as you have the speaker next to the monitor. Once you start walking away 4 or 5 feet away from the monitor, you start seeing drops in the consistency of sound output. Now I know this is not an issue that I'm having with the speaker itself because I've used it with various devices and I haven't had this kind of issue 10-20 feet away. So it's definitely an issue that I think is coming directly from the monitor itself. Anyway, so right now I have the volume set at 51. Let's play the sound and listen closely where you start hearing the distortion, and mostly I would say it's coming from the right side. Now I'm going to play exact same sound with the Bluetooth speaker, and to change the source you click on the home button and hold it. You get this setting pop up, and here you have the selection, so you just click in the center, and as you can see the tri-bit is now connected. Set at 31. I definitely recommend buying an external source for the sound output. Another thing that I mentioned about Bluetooth, actually a Bluetooth is a big issue with this monitor that I noticed. Frequently it does not connect to this specific Bluetooth. So usually what it requires for me to turn off the Bluetooth speaker itself and then try again, or sometimes restart the monitor itself and it does connect. If you have experience of using Samsung televisions, it's pretty much the same thing. Now I have read some comments, people stating that there is no app store included, which is incorrect. So if you see on the corner where it says apps, you basically go over there and you open, and here you could download most of the apps. The ones that I use were pretty much all over here. Now there are bloatware included in this specific monitor. Well, in this situation it's already the television, which you unfortunately cannot not install. So if you are a Sling user, for example, great. If you're not, you cannot delete it. So, which is a very big negative. Same thing if you don't use this apps, for example, you cannot uninstall them. And if you click delete, you get this message. There's definitely a bloatware in here. So let's go over the interface. So here is your basically television entertainment experience. Here you have recents, like for example, my Mac computer that's connected. It recommends some of the things to watch. And if you want, there's some free movies, for example, which is actually pretty good. And some of the selections, because as I was going through this, I found this, which is the movie that I wanted to see. And then if you click on it, it actually shows you where it is available. So when I clicked on Watch Now on Apple TV, and it says that it's available on Paramount Plus for free if you have an account, which I do, which was great. So kind of allows you to see, instead of you needing to go online to search where you could watch certain things, this kind of allows you to know where you could watch some of the movies that you wanted to watch if they're available. There's definitely delay, and when you start clicking, like I just clicked back, it takes a second or so to go back. Same thing like if I want to go to the menu, and then there's definitely a delay. So here you have some of the selections that you can make. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here. Workspace, it's basically where you could connect your devices that you use, and I would say mostly wireless. This is a wireless section. On this side, I added one of them is a PC and the other one is desktop. That's what I added. But anything that you linked wirelessly would be right over here. Now, in order for you to get to media, you click left again, and then you click in the center, and then it takes you to this space again, and you click again, and then I click down, click right, right again. As you can see, there's definitely a delay. So here in connected devices, this is where you find your connected, like if you have a PC or a Mac. So in order for you, for example, like to add, the way I added the shortcuts, you click down and then it will come up as an offer here if you want to add it to your home screen, which I did. Also here where you get to slim fit camera, if you are Google Duo user, this would be the space. Now, multiple view, I think it's useless. It allows you to use two sources at the same time. As you can see here, it's there's a computer here and a YouTube, so you have this 4 options. You could go in here and you can make your own. I clicked, it takes a while. Like I said, there's a delay. You can make like the pop-up window, or you can make the split window, which this is what I did over here. And it allows you to use 2 sources at the same time. So if you want to use the internet by Samsung, which is slow, you have to pair a Bluetooth keyboard and a mouse. Not every mouse is recognizable. Like I tried to use Magic Trackpad, that just was not being picked up. And older generation type of Bluetooth mouse and the keyboard definitely had no issues. Here you have your settings. All right. Now let's go to this section. This is where I want to concentrate on. So for those of you who enjoy using DeX and you have a Samsung device, here I'm going to show some of the issues that I'm experiencing with this specific monitor. So here I have S22 Ultra. You select. I'm not getting any requests. Let me cancel it. Now this monitor freezes a lot, so if you're planning to buy it, just get used to it freezing. I don't know if they could update that with the software update, but it's definitely annoying. Let me try again. As you can see, it freezes. So I'm going to try to do it with the phone as soon as this stops. Oh, there we go. So in order for you to log in to Dex from your phone, you go down to your settings and you find Dex, which is right over here. You click on it. Now you select start. As you can see, the M8 is right there. Here we go. Oh, look at this. Definitely a smooth experience, right? So to get the trackpad open, you open this up. This is where you move things. You can actually work with this if you're quick enough. Sorry, there's a lag. As you can see, there's definitely a lag. So you just really have to open the web browser before it's too late. Once you open the web browser, the distortion with display basically is gone. As soon as you close, I mean, you could see there's definitely a major delay. And I'm like not even a foot away. Oh, come on. It stutters too. Boy, there we go. We got it. All right, then you give it a few seconds or so. As you can see, the distortion is already starting. And yeah. So this is Dex experience with S22 Ultra. Next thing I want to show is if you are Windows users. So you go to Windows here and it shows you how you could connect your specific device. You either download the app into your PC or laptop, you could remote connect, or screen sharing. I don't recommend neither because the experience is really bad. Here I already added the Samsung Sammy 360, which is my Samsung Pro 360. What I do want to point out is these tabs on top, they pop up once you have successfully established a connection between M8 monitor and your device. S22 Ultra, I had successful connection on day one. Z Fold 3, it took me over a week. I was trying daily to have it connect to M8, but it just wasn't working. Now, I don't have the same issue using Z Fold 3 with my televisions that I have in my house, but somehow with this, it took me a while. But once established connection with Z Fold 3 and M8, it works flawlessly. There's some delay, but definitely much better experience than S22 Ultra because of the distortion with the display itself. Now this is how it's happening for me. If you have S22 Ultra and you have M8 and you're not having the same experience, please comment below. But definitely would say be cautious if you do have S22 Ultra and you're considering of getting M8. Now Sammy 360 is the application that you download when you want to pair Windows PC or a laptop to this specific monitor. So I did download into the laptop, but it took 3 days, literally 3 days for this laptop to start working with this monitor. And all the settings were correct. They were matching. And every time I tried to establish connection, it just kept circling and no connection being established. And then 3 days later, magically, it just started working. So in order for you to start using it, you click on the tab. There's a little delay. But once this happens, it's pretty steady connection. Now this does not go away. I do not recommend using this type of connection if you are, let's say, gamer, graphic designer, or video editing. Like I'm monitoring my recording with a small display right over here, and what I'm seeing from a small display, it looks as if this is beautiful display, like perfect HD. It's not. For me in person, I see how pixelated it is. I see some rendering over here, like it's moving. So you could see there's definitely connection that it's trying to maintain wirelessly. With the fact that I actually have a really fast internet connection in my house, so this should be perfect connection, but it's not. Now, this is a 1080 display, and what this looks like is maybe 720p, maybe even less. So I definitely would not recommend. There's definitely a lag. Watch me moving the mouse. How long did it take for that mouse to appear over there? So there's definitely a delay. Now, the third way to connect Windows to M8 is screen sharing. There are some steps that you can follow. It's actually pretty simple. I go over here, and then I have cast over here. I click on this. There you go. And experience overall is much better. Like the lag is not as bad as it is with the application. The quality of display over here is better than it is with the Samsung application. It's not as good as it looks over here, but then I'm expecting it. This is a 4K panel and this is 1080. So I'm sure the quality would look worse on over here than it is over there. Let's conclude this review. Simple question. Do I recommend Samsung Smart Monitor M8? Based on my experience, no. There was just way too much of frustration for me when it came with M8. I just think Samsung promises way too much in M8 and it struggles to deliver that balanced experience. If you're looking for television, I recommend just buying television separately. If you're looking just monitor, look elsewhere, because M8, the 60 Hertz panel, it is a VA panel, so the colors are beautiful, which Samsung is known for delivering those beautiful colors. But you're gonna get ghosting with blacks, you're gonna get gray, washed out, dark images, dark scenes. It's just not enjoyable experience. Built-in speakers are really bad. No, absolutely not. I just can't find a good reason to recommend to use this device. It just, for me, was such a frustration. Like, I was ready to ship it on day one and I regretted it that I didn't, because it was, yeah, I didn't enjoy using it at all. Let me just give an example. I needed to use M8 for my Zoom meeting, so somehow miraculously I was able to get slim fit camera working, but no one was able to hear me. So it was a fail most of the time with slim fit camera, and the only time I was able to get it, no one was able to hear me. And you know what, I thought maybe it was my MacBook that was an issue, but no, all the settings were correct in place, but just wasn't working. So I had to buy the devices. I had to buy extra, which was Logitech 4K Pro webcam. I had to buy the Elgato microphone, the speaker. I spent over 500 extra in order to use M8. And is it worth it? Absolutely not. It struggles with wired connection. It struggles with wireless connection. It's good when you want to watch, like, for example, Netflix, but then again, remember the aspect of it. Yes, it has great coloring, but the dark images, it's not good. The selling point of M8 is the remote control, and there's not a lot of competition out there that has that, and it's a huge difference. For example, I've tried using a monitor before. Like, I would have a big television in my living room, but in my bedroom I wanted something small. But like, a lot of small televisions don't have such a high quality display like 4K. So I remember trying using a computer monitor for an entertainment needs, like watching movies. So here you lay down or sit down and you want to watch an episode, but then when the episode finishes and you want to play the next one, you have to get up physically and change it. Yeah, that's not really enjoyable. So having that remote control makes a huge difference. But it does lag, experience with the remote control. And at the same time, let's say if you're in a monitor space of the monitor space in the monitor, like if you're using it for your computer, or if you have, like, for example, connected some gaming console and then you need to switch to something else, it takes way too many clicks and it does freeze, it does lag. So, but you get the remote control. So there's not a lot of competition for that price range and for what M8 is supposed to offer. But there are options out there. Like, for example, I ended up buying LG C2 42-inch, which does have full remote control with all the functions, because the M8 remote control is like mini with cutout functions remote control. And you can't even compare this display with M8. V8 panel and the OLED panel, pure crisp black colors. It's an OLED panel and it's bright. The color is absolutely beautiful. The built-in speaker in C2 is joy. Like, you don't need to buy an additional speaker. You could just use that. Yes, it does not have the camera, but the slim fit camera doesn't really work. So I'd still have to buy a camera. The microphone in M8 also didn't really work. And it wasn't that it didn't work, because when I tested Slim Fit with Google Duo, so the microphone and the camera worked. It's just it struggles when you connect it with something else. So basically I still have to get a microphone for this one, the camera, which I would still have to get for M8. So there's no winning or losing. It's already a done deal. But everything else that you get with C2, it wins by a million miles when you compare it by comparing to M8. Yes, there's a cost difference, but like I said, for what I had to spend additional over $500 on those devices with M8, I'm near the same price range. Yes, you could go with lesser of a webcam or a lesser of a microphone, but I believe in buying, basically, I try to get what's best out there, and I kind of thought M8 was best out there for what it was advertised to do, and it's not. So hopefully I did provide the answers for some of you who were looking into getting M8 and just wanted to find out more. Or if you want to know about LG C2, which from the start I absolutely love this television / monitor. It just offers so much more compared to M8. Comment below. I love to read those comments. I'll respond to C2 if you have questions, or if I missed something about M8, just comment below. Thanks for watching.